Ian,
Dave.
how you doing, buddy?
I'm well. I'm rested. Ready to do whatever this nonsense is.
You have a beverage over there?
I have a sparkling water today.
Oh, really? I got a sparkly boy too.
I'm all out of the whiskey.
Oh no! Cheers, buddy. Yeah.
Cheers.
Ah, there we go. That's what everybody loves on a podcast is mouth noises, isn't it? Right? I'm Dave. You're Ian. Apex adjacent.
Car show. Mouth feel. Mouth noise.
Ian, how long have we been doing a podcast together?
It's got to be at least 3 or 4 months now. 6 years?
Yeah, over 6 years. When we hit September, it'll be 7.
Oof.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So, between you and I, like, who takes more candid photos when we're together?
Or just full stop. That would be you.
Okay, right. I'm pretty trigger happy with the camera phone, right?
Yes. I barely ever take photos.
Right. You leave no trace, digitally or otherwise.
Correct.
Is your stance. Well, Ian, we've spent a fair amount of time together, you and I, right?
Yeah.
I think that Tim Apple might think our relationship is a little bit different than what it really is.
So I get these from Google now too, where they auto generate your
a memory video.
Right. Oh, is that what's I'm about to sit through? Oh, dear Lord.
Ian, Tim Apple made this video of you, and I would like to show it to you. I apologize, listeners. The sound isn't going to come through, but just imagine romantic music because that's what Apple picked.
Is that really what it was?
It was very sweet. It was very sweet. So here's Ian's face next to a Lincoln emblem. Right, here we go. We'll just play the video. Yeah, there we go. All right.
Oh, my God.
Yep, there's the... Yep, that is one of my favorite pictures of you. Yeah. Oh, Ian, you're photogenic as heck. And I have some legit pictures of you that I am proud of. I'm very proud of. Yes, there's Namaste, Ian. Yep.
Awful.
We can't forget Namaste, Ian. Right? You next to a Ferrari FF. Right? Mm-hmm. Yep. And a logo that never was, and that's for the better. Yeah. So there you go, Ian. There is you and I.
That's really funny.
It is. I would like to show one photo specifically of you that I just think.
Wait, what the hell is this? This is I would rather sit through an intervention.
No, I think you like this photo. It's a badass photo of you. It's let me see if I can find it. I got to do the show more. I don't want to see the summary. I want to see all of them. Let's see. It was this is in 2018, August 23rd. All right, let me get back there real quick.
Back in the odd 18.
Exactly, right? Yeah. Yeah, we didn't know what was going on back then, right? Oh, here is one photo of you that I absolutely love. This is great. But yeah, so Tim Apple definitely thinks that we have a very specific relationship. Yeah, I love that one. You're so happy we're going karting.
Yeah.
Yep. I think we were going to the outdoor karting.
We must have been because I'm holding gloves and stuff.
Yeah. But let's see here. Yeah, back in August of 18. Yeah. At the press event.
With the M5.
Well, actually, I think I like this, not this one specifically, but I caught a great picture of you stepping out of the Kia Stinger.
Oh.
Yeah. There we go. That one, where I think you just look fantastic, Ian.
Yeah, that's a good picture.
Right? Yeah.
Look a little tubby, but that's all right.
It's the lens, Ian. It's the lens.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So
my mirror has that same lens, I think.
Ian, we need to be kind to ourselves. There's no stinking thinking. Yeah.
Anyway.
Don't make me get all Ted Lasso on you. But anyway, my phone thinks we're married.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So there you go. That's my welcome home, Ian, present to you, was Tim
Thank
Apple
you.
telling me
Thank
what
you.
our relationship really was.
That's really funny.
Yeah. Can't do a podcast with somebody for like 6.5 years and not have something like that pop up, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I just think it's also I'm imagining other friends in that situation who would find it less funny, and I'm just now imagining like an insecure man yelling at his phone. No. No.
Brandon and I aren't like that.
Yeah.
Can we change the soundtrack to nu metal?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
These woke Silicon Valley companies are out of control.
That's it. They're pushing their gay agenda into our phones.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Well, if videos like that come out of it, I'm all for it. I have to say.
That's great.
Yeah. So there you go. There you go, Ian. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, since we're learning new things about each other, apparently, is what we're doing tonight. There is something on the talkabouts that's next that I am very intrigued about.
Why would that be, Ian?
Well, because you have written down here that you want to discuss Formula Effington 1. And, we really haven't discussed it much this year, even though it's kind of a big year for Formula 1. There were big rule changes. First ever Miami race was this weekend. It's been a big year. We have not really discussed it. I don't even think you have a fantasy team this year.
Nope.
What's up? Although we should shout out, speaking of this weekend, we need to shout out Jessie.
Yeah.
For fucking killing it. She got second in the world.
In the world. Yeah.
In the world.
Oh, man. Why is she...
Well done, Jessie.
Absolutely. Well done, Jessie. Why is she still slumming it with our team?
It's a great question. Great question.
Ian, so there's people and places like Miami and politics, which, I don't mind talking about. Would it surprise you to learn that I am a member of the F1 or the Formula One group on Reddit, the subreddit?
That would surprise me, yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I am. I must have clicked it in a blind rage like 3 years ago and forgot to unsubscribe. But I was on Reddit the other day, and something popped up that this is the kind of F1 stuff that I want to see.
Can I make a prediction of what it's going to be?
Go for it. I would love to hear this. Yeah.
I think it's going to be Sebastian Vettel and his T-shirt about climate change.
Well, I'm here for all that. I love that stuff. But this isn't that. This isn't that. And I can promise you, it's not really a very long conversation topic.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So let me show you what popped up on the feed and what piqued my interest for about 4 seconds before I kept scrolling, probably to slash awe or just rolled into the shop. Here we go. I am going to need to share a browser with you in order for you to see it. And I am doing that right now. It popped up a cross section comparing the Ferrari to the Red Bull car.
Oh, interesting.
Right? And it sliced the picture vertically.
Yeah.
And on one half is the Ferrari, and on the other half is the Red Bull car.
Yeah. And they're pretty radically different.
Yeah. Like, this is the kind of stuff that, like, I like to look at. Like, this is cool to me. This is what gets my interest. Unfortunately, like, there really isn't much to talk about. Like, it's not really like a big, like, yeah, like they made this choice and this airflow thing and stuff like that, like this car's wider, this car's that. But then I just scroll on. But I have to say, this picture specifically, like, really captivated me. I think it's really, really cool.
I mean, I think it's amazing. Like, they're very different.
Right.
And there's a lot of very big obvious differences, especially around packaging and the size of the engine and all that sort of stuff.
Tell people what you mean by packaging. For packaging, those I'm going to pretend I know.
I mean that you can tell from the bodywork the way that the engine and all of the accessories for the engine and the transmission and the hybrid system and stuff is packaged, meaning like what shape it takes physically. Okay. Because they want to, suck the bodywork, especially with the new regulations, the airflow around the car and especially under the car is super, super important. And, they're not just generating the downforce from the front and rear wings. It's now ground effect. And so the air around the car and around the engine compartment is really, really important. Okay. And they're taking very radically different approaches to it, like all the teams are. And it's really interesting to see the shapes that have kind of come out of that.
Yeah.
And that was the whole thing with the beginning of the hybrid era. The packaging has been a big thing with the turbo hybrid era because there's so much more stuff that they have to kind of cram in there. And that was the whole leap forward that the Mercedes team had in 2014
was splitting the turbo
and putting it in the V.
Right.
Yeah. So, and it allowed them to like move the bodywork in like several inches or something.
Right. Right.
Anyway, so that's super interesting. But the crazy thing is that like they have totally different drivetrains. They share zero components.
Right.
These two teams operate on opposite ends of Europe from each other. Totally separate companies, everything else. They end up going around a track like within a tenth of a second of each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes hundreds of seconds.
Bonkers.
Right.
Crazy.
Right. Yeah. Right. When people just like clean sheet of paper, problem solve their own way and end up with completely different results. Yeah. And then yet they're still like neck and neck. Yeah. Right. That is really fascinating. Right.
Yeah. I mean, and to me, that's what makes F1 so fascinating is that aspect of it, just like the crazy innovation and like, you're not going to fucking Pep Boys and saying, hey, I need a carbon fiber strut bar, like that doesn't exist. They're making those in house. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah. So, like I'm interested in F1. I'm just not interested in racing.
Yeah. That's fine. Yeah. I think there's a lot of people. I mean, there's a ton of people who are watching Drive to Survive because it kind of covers this stuff.
Okay.
And not watching the racing.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
That's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's great.
So there you go. I found something in F1 that actually interested me.
That's a really cool picture. It's really well done.
Right? Yeah.
And it really does drive home how, I mean, they look similar, but how different they really are.
Just taking in the front and rear wing, massively different, and then the main portion of the body behind the driver, just
the side
massively
pods are
different,
totally different shape.
Yeah,
really
interesting suspension difference, right?
Oh yeah,
look at that, right?
Yeah.
Pardon me, I'm drinking a sparkly boy. I'm a little burpy tonight. Another thing everybody loves on podcasts.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's so cool.
Right? Yeah. This is the part of the podcast where we're just quiet for a while and stare at a picture. So hit that 15-second fast forward on your Apple Podcast app. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Just pretend it's an ad.
Right?
Yeah. 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 No, it's really interesting. So I figured that you would be excited that I got excited about a thing about F1.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm now just trying to think how I can use this as a hook to get you to watch the racing.
That's not going to happen.
I know.
Remember that picture that you saw? It's going around a track. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
What else you want to talk about tonight, Ian?
We've both seen some things. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I feel like, I don't know. Are we going to need a palate cleanser after yours, or
yes?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So let's do yours first. Let's talk. Let's get into it, buddy.
Okay. So I saw a thing. I posted it on Twitter, and it's been going around Twitter a little bit. But I feel like it deserves some explanation and discussion on the show because, it's a very specific thing to the U.S. And we have some Twitter followers and maybe some listeners who aren't in the U.S. And also it's just a fascinating topic that I went down the rabbit hole on a little bit already.
Yeah.
So I saw a thing that you may encounter, and this was like street parked in my neighborhood. This is a car with a sovereign citizen license plate.
Yes.
The thing that really caught my eye, so I've seen these before. I've seen the sovereign citizen license plates before. What caught my eye, what I think is extra hilarious about it, is that he also has a Blue Lives Matter sticker, which is fucking hilarious to me.
So for anyone who doesn't know, how would you describe a sovereign citizen person or the movement or the culture in the United States?
Yeah.
I think it's an important thing to discuss because the irony, it is so present. Definitely.
They are basically like Ron Swanson on ayahuasca. Like they are convinced that when the 14th Amendment passed, the U.S. became a corporation.
Right.
And so they are no longer subject to its rule.
Right. Right.
And, clearly they don't pay taxes or register their vehicles or buy insurance for their vehicles or any of that.
Right.
They don't have driver's license.
Subject to U.S. laws. Yeah.
Right. That's what they believe. They're not subject to U.S. laws. And they have this whole rickety, Jenga tower in their brain to justify all of this stuff. And like, you can read like the training for officers that they get for when they pull one of these nut jobs over. And they'll say like, there's this whole like language that they use around like, oh, this is not a vehicle. This is a conveyance. And I'm traveling. I'm not driving.
Yes, I'm traveling. I'm not driving. Right.
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 Which is just the stupidest fucking thing. Right. Like it doesn't matter.
Because they believe they have a right to travel through whatever means they need to travel. Right. It's the right to travel. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But the state, which is supposed to guarantee these rights, isn't legitimate. So I'm not sure exactly. Right. And also, I don't know if they've been paying super close attention to who is employing those blue lives who matter so much.
Right.
But yeah.
Right. So the fact that like they have the Blue Lives Matter sticker, which is it can go from people that say like have family in the police force and they just haven't really thought anything else through about what that flag can mean. Right.
Yes. This is what exactly all of this means.
Right.
All of this tells everybody it's just broadcasting. I haven't thought any of this through.
Right. And yet they're crazy enough to do. This is like the epitome of the do your own research crowd.
Yes.
Right. That they will find this like internet niche echo chamber that verifies this like sovereign citizen bullshit. And they paint themselves into such a crazy corner, conspiracy theory wise, right? That they will insist that like their social security card is not valid because their name is spelled in all capital letters. When in reality, the government doesn't give a fuck about capitalization, right?
Right.
Right. But this is seriously like one thing because I knew one of these guys back in the day. Right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And like he was like the crazy conspiracy guy that everybody knew, and like, like I used to be very entertained by conspiracy theories, right? It was all about like people that would fall into that belief system and stuff like that. Coming out of a pretty fundamentalist Christian upbringing, like you can see like these tracks, right?
Yeah. No, it's very interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
But go ahead.
No. Well, no, go ahead, because I have a whole thing I want to get into. But yeah, go ahead.
But I think like I started kind of like getting less fascinated and more horrified by it with the whole QAnon stuff, right?
Right.
Because like sovereign citizens and flat earthers and stuff like that, like, okay, like whatever, you're fucking crazy. Okay. But then like the QAnon stuff is like truly damaging, right? And very, very awful. And some really bad shit has come out of it, right? So I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I think you're right. And I will say that I think this is very cyclical. I mean, going back to, mass hysteria events for
exactly
hundreds of years. Like there's the famous one in Germany where a bunch of people danced themselves to death.
Yeah. Right.
In a couple hundred years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
But and then more recently in the US, like we are definitely prone to it, and the right seems to be more prone to it on a larger scale anyway, of like John Birch Society, right? And then that kind of died off. And then there was in the 80s and 90s, it was, Michigan Militia and all that stuff.
Waco, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was a bunch that happened in the early 90s around this sort of stuff. And so I think the thing with QAnon that's troubling is not so much that it's unique, that it was just the scale of it is unique.
Yes.
The reach of it was unique, right?
And probably weaponization of it, right?
Well, I don't know, the Oklahoma City bombing and Waco and,
True.
That was weaponized by definition, but I think the getting into, your aunt who, goes to freedom.eagle.
Right.
Whatever.
right.
Like that was the thing that was new about QAnon and, just the scale of it.
Right. Breaking like the 4chan to Facebook barrier, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Getting through to the normies, right?
Right.
Because there was what's the radio guy that we talked about before? Art Bell. Right. Like
Coast to coast AM.
Yes, none of this shit is new.
Right.
But yeah, I looked this plate up. This is a company. It's like Freedom.
Yeah.
freedomfromgovernment.org or something like that.
Right.
They have a whole store. You can buy these. They have a starter kit where you get like a script for when a cop pulls you over. It may shock you to learn. Are you sitting down, Dave? Are you sitting down?
Hang on. Let me stand up and then sit down again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Good. This is going to come as a super shock. They have on their website where they sell these anti-COVID stuff. Like fake, like a card that says I'm exempt from vaccines.
Yes.
This is my favorite
part. This is my favorite part of the conspiracy stuff is the grift.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Because obviously, like, if you believe that, a rock that is from Toledo is the only thing that's going to keep you from being thrown in Guantanamo Bay, guess what? Someone right around the corner has to sell you a fucking rock from Toledo.
Right? Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we will happily take your money.
Right? Yeah.
And this person paid money for both of these things on their vehicle, which are completely contradictory to each other.
Right?
Yay, power of the state. Boo state. What?
Yeah. One of the things about cars is that it allows people to tell you the crazy is right there and to stay away from it.
Yeah, we communicate a lot of people, a lot of things,
right?
And this says a few things.
Mm-hmm.
I have not thought through my convictions in any way, shape, or form.
Right, beyond a rapid Bing search, maybe.
Right. I think everybody knows who I voted for.
Right.
If I voted.
Right.
And please don't get in an accident with me because I sure as fuck don't have insurance.
There you go. You go. Right.
I also want to say, street parking one of these cars is a ballsy maneuver because
it is because Denver.
And you're just saying, please break into my car. There's a 0% chance of a police report being filed.
Right.
Hey, my unregistered car was street parked and got broken into.
Right. The police are going to love that, especially like if you happen to run into the beat cop that tried to give you a ticket before you out crazied them and they just got exhausted and were like, fuck it, I'm just giving you a warning. Stop speeding so you don't mow down children.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. If you've hung with us this long, here's the TLDR, right?
Yeah.
When the flat earth people go like, no, that's still a little much for me. Like you're fucking crazy. And that's what the sovereign citizen folks are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also just want to, one thing I do want to point out is that, we do talk a lot about politics on the show or whatever, but there is a point where you have to kind of step back and like you encounter something like this and it seems just way the fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes it's useful to, when you get out there, take a look back and just be like, what does this resemble in sort of mainstream discourse, right? And this is the natural extension of just rejecting all forms of like liberalism and the Enlightenment and social contract and all that, right? Like I'm just saying, like if we're not doing those things, if we're not like banding together to keep the wolves away from our children, and the tribe next door from murdering us in our sleep, and diseases from coming in, like what are we doing? What are we doing? We're all just an island. Like we're just gonna undo the thing that we've been working towards since like the caves. What?
Right.
This is nonsense. It doesn't make any. It's crazy. Anyway.
Right.
That's all. I'll get off my soapbox now.
No, I appreciate it. I'm very thankful.
My state-funded soapbox.
Look at you with a social security card with all capital letters.
Sucker.
That's my corporate identity, not my real identity. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No. Yeah. And there's this whole thing about the American flag with gold fringe and not gold fringe. And
I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah. They believe that they can't be tried in any court that shows that is flying the American flag with gold trim. I can't remember. There's a specific name for it because that was. Yeah, and it like these people like quote weird parts of the Magna Carta to try to justify like their stuff. Like it's all. Yeah. It look, skepticism is great, right? Mm-hmm. Just like anything else, right? Like, but fuck, like you live in America, pay your fucking taxes. Yeah. Hey everybody, this is Dave. I just wanted to pop in here for a second to give folks a warning. Ian and I are going to talk about a bunch of stuff with the current political landscape. And if that's not something you want to hear right now, we totally respect that. And you can go ahead and forward to about 46 minutes. That should park you at the end of that conversation. We recognize that there's a lot of reasons that folks listen to various shows. Maybe you want to hear stuff like that. Maybe you don't. If, given everything that's going on, if you just don't want to hear that, go ahead and fast forward 46 minutes. Remember, we love you. Take care of yourself. And back to the show.
Quoting the Magna Carta, that's great. I mean, nothing is really, nothing recently in the news reminds me of relying on 13th century common law to to apply to our modern welfare.
Right.
That is at all relevant.
Right. And so we should say that mentally, I think both you and I have had some very rough times because of the Roe versus Wade leak and like that stuff. I personally went through a pretty rough time when I found out that news. And so like, it's been tough lately. And I don't know.
It's again, just frustrating. It's the same thing, of what if we're not protecting each other.
Right.
What the fuck are we doing?
Right.
This is not. That's the point of all of this. Right.
This is not some bullshit theocracy where everybody just. I don't know. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No. I mean, I do feel like there's a large part of that movement that is the dog caught the car and is like, now what? Because one, it's been their motivating thing for 40 years and now what?
Right.
And so there's just the cold political reality of that. Also, obviously, they're realizing how fucking unpopular it is.
Right.
But also they're all personally affected too. And, all those motherfuckers have mistresses.
They're all, see, the thing is, they're all still going to get their abortions. That's the thing.
Totally.
Right? Totally. Yeah.
Totally. And the other thing that I've been thinking about this, I'm glad we brought this up, because like the other thing that I've been thinking about this that I want to drive home to people, because I do think it's important to have a different perspective on it if you've never been around someone who's been pregnant. It's like I've always been pro-choice or whatever, but I was somewhat ambivalent about it before we had kids. In that like it felt like not necessarily my fight, and these guys really think, if they really believe it's murder, then I mean they're wrong. But that's not an argument I feel like I'm equipped to jump into. Right?
Okay.
It's not something I'm going to go out of my way to have an argument with someone. But going through with having kids and watching Jenny go through all that, it made me way more adamant about being pro-choice, because it is fucking dangerous and fraught being pregnant. Anyone who's pregnant is at risk of really severe shit and dying at several stages. And I remember
in the best circumstances. Yes.
And we had, obviously, we're a fairly privileged couple. We have good health insurance and we live close by to healthcare and all that stuff. We had, our first kid was born with an emergency C-section. Right. We went in we were late. Mm-hmm. We were like a week past the due date and went in for an ultrasound. There was like no fluid and the ultrasound tech couldn't find a heartbeat. And so they were like, no fucking around, you're getting in the car, you're going to a hospital. And it wasn't the one we had picked. Right. And part of the reason we hadn't picked that one was because it was a Catholic hospital. And I asked in the room, if there's a choice to be made here, I'm going to choose Jenny. Right. Is that going to be a problem at this Catholic hospital?
Oh, okay.
And I cannot fathom going through that with that hanging over your head of, and obviously everything worked out fine, but, not knowing that you can't have a conversation with your doctor about what the best thing to do is. Right. And those are the two people involved, or the three people that are involved in the conversation, and that's it. That's insane to me. Right. I can't imagine going through that and how maddening it would be to have someone be like, oh yeah, your wife's going to die. We could save her. We're not going to. Right. Because that's, when you're talking about late term abortion stuff. That's what that's about. That's what's happening there. So anyway, soapbox number 2.
No,
Please.
it's okay, Ian. It's okay, because I think that there's like the sovereign citizen guy and this guy, like the pro-life guy, like there are some things in common, right? And the thing that has been very difficult for me to reconcile and understand is that largely a fundamental element of the right is that they are radically self-reliant, right? That they believe in self-reliance.
They believe they are. Mistakenly, they believe they are, yes.
Right. Mistakenly believe that they are. They believe that you should take care of your own stuff first and everybody else, needs to take care of their own stuff, right? So you don't have to take care of it, right?
Yeah.
But the culture and the legislation has been nothing but policing other people's behavior, right? It's been so contra to that core kind of conservative belief or perceived conservative belief that like the hypocrisy is gone. Like it's not even hypocritical at this point. It's gone past that, right? To just an outright oppressive movement, right?
Yeah.
And it's been really hard. It's been really hard processing all of that stuff. And like there are pro-life folks that actually have a lot in common with pro-choice folks. There are pro-life folks that understand that like there is this kind of spectrum of options that a pregnant person has, right? And they would prefer the order of operations to be other things, but they're not ruling out abortion, right? There are pro-life people legitimately like that. And there are pro-choice people that also feel the same way, that abortion is down on the list of things that they want, right? But it still should be legally an option, right? And it's unfortunate that the people that are most reasonable about these circumstances are either like they're just not being heard or they're just being pushed aside, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that is very upsetting to me, right? That the fact that like a democracy to these folks doesn't even matter anymore. Like it's not
right.
It doesn't, because these other things in their opinion are more important, and it's not right. It's not right. And it's been really hard to, I don't know. And like the whole thing about like, well, if it gets kicked down to the states, right, then people can move to another state where abortion's legal. Because that's so easy for every person to do, is just move to another state.
Right.
Like, what the fuck? That's not even a realistic option.
Oh,
right?
And the extrapolations get crazy. Like, are pregnant people now going to be a ward of the state? Like, are you going to have to monitor their movements? And what's the end goal here? If you're going to make this, classified as murder, then what are you doing about it?
Right. Right.
Because if you run that out, it gets real dark real fast.
Right.
And I want to circle back and bring this back to the sovereign citizen, and then also why this matters to car stuff, because I think what you were talking about like just the right in general and kind of their mindset with all of this, and like they're kind of the antagonistic piece of it, right? Yeah,
definitely.
My view on this is that the right has viewed the American sort of project as like it was always meant to be. It was always it was ordained that we were going to do this, right? And it was like, and that, with originalism and all that bullshit, which is nonsense.
Right.
But that individualism, that part of the Enlightenment that kind of grew into our revolution and the French Revolution and all the other projects, that is the be all end all. And that is what everyone meant, right? Was that individual liberty is the thing,
the pinnacle, right?
Is the pinnacle, right? And what I think they're what they miss is everything that came before, and like what the context of that idea was. Like, that was such a radical idea that there would be any sort of individual liberty or self-determination for the masses. Even though the masses didn't really mean the masses, right? Like, it meant like a quarter of the masses,
right?
But even that was legitimately like a revolutionary like idea that is worth preserving. That the seed of that is, and then like moving it out and, you know, making it bigger and incorporating more people. But the whole context of it is still supposed to be collective, right? It's still supposed to be, we're doing things together and solving problems and keeping the wolves away from our children and keeping people from attacking us and keeping each other safe during a fucking pandemic. Like, though you're supposed to, that's supposed to exist. That idea is supposed to exist within that context. And what they've done is just said, we're not interested in that context, which is like, everyone lives in caves again. Like, that's right. The context is how are humans organizing themselves. Right. So without that, we can't do anything. And where this becomes important to everybody else, to us as car enthusiasts and people who want to continue living, is like, we're not going to get to electrification. We're not going to get to anything that, and we're certainly not going to be able to, you know, hold on to the things that we like now, because the consequences will be too. We're in a spot now where we can kind of hold on to some of our lifestyle that we have now, if we advance technologically. But those things are all going to require collective effort, and if we can't get our shit together and do dumb nonsense like this, like Roe, and we all become sovereign citizens, how do we collectively do anything? Exactly. We can't even wear a fucking thing over our face when we go into a store as a society. Right. So, I mean, it's insane. Right. I don't know. That's my grand unifying theory, is that like they've just decided society is just yeah. What social contract? Right. Yeah. It's bonkers. It is. And I think that, I don't know, like, I'm debating internally whether or not to like bring religious topics into this or not. I think maybe I can't handle that conversation this evening. Honestly, I don't even know if it's worthwhile, because I honestly think it's a distraction. I think that's the wedge that's been used to gain power, right? It's been the way that they've moved people towards this goal of just gaining power. And I think that is, I mean, obviously that's how it's been used for centuries or whatever, but true. Yeah. I think we'll leave it at that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I saw another car that was silly. Well, the thing is that, like, I think one thing that we want to make sure, and I think everybody listening knows this, is that, like, if you're having a hard time, we feel you. And we want you to take care of yourself. And shit is tough. And so we're empathetic to you. We love you. And, you know, when it comes to this stuff, we're in it together, and we're going to be a community, and we're going to keep fighting back. So it's very, very hard. I'm not going to give up. You're not going to give up, Ian. Yeah. You know, and it sucks, but we're just going to keep pushing for what's right. So, yeah. Yep. So I'm announcing Ian's candidacy for president. Yeah, that'd go really well. Ian, honestly, it's anybody's fucking guess nowadays. No, it's true. Yeah. That's true. So anyway, tell me about this other car that you saw. I saw a silly car also in the neighborhood. Okay. This is perhaps the laziest car stanza I've ever seen in my life. Really? Yes.
Did they just? Oh, remember the Honda Hellcat that I saw?
Right. Yeah. So go ahead and I have two pictures of a Dodge Caliber.
Okay.
Show the one from the rear first. It's labeled -2.
Okay. All right. SRT for whom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you got to share your browser.
Oh, yeah. Since we were having a serious conversation, I just brought it in on you and I. Okay. That's how Apex Adjacent works, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't want vroom vroom car.jpg up while we discussed Roe versus Wade?
Exactly, yeah. Something about a Nissan Xterra kind of takes the wind out of on and on about how upset she is about Roe versus Wade, and you're like, bep.
Yeah, but
Let me take a picture.
Man's got to take a picture. Lady with the talking.
Oh, Jesus.
None of that happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm still here.
Yeah.
But yeah, amazing. No notes. I love it.
Right. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Yep.
I mean, from like 30 feet away, I could tell it was not an SRT4, and I haven't seen one of those in, I don't know, 15 years.
Yeah.
A plus.
SRT for Caliber.
Yeah, I've driven one of those.
Yeah.
It was atrocious.
Yeah. I figured it was. Yeah, they're nuts. I see a true SRT4 every now and then around Denver.
A Caliber or a Neon?
Oh no, a Caliber. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just see if you can spot the difference. Picture A,
Right.
like we're doing an eye exam. Picture which is better, A or B?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a pretty striking difference because that body kit was actually legit bonkers.
Yeah,
on that car.
It's cool. Like, it's insane. It's not a great car, but it's insane and funny, right?
Yeah.
This, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is what they replaced the Neon with, right?
Yeah.
It was the Caliber, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it was a very, very strange car.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Yep. I love it. I love it. They bought the sticker on eBay. They got the license plate frames. Mm-hmm. See, that's the thing, right? Like, the move is to go the other way. Is to have the Caliber SRT4 because they're crazy moddable, right?
Yeah, and then badge it as an SXT.
Yeah, exactly. Have the broken bumper, keep it beige, everything, right? Swap that drivetrain in there and then just fucking destroy people, right? Just drop people like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah.
Right?
At least if you're going to do this, take the other badge off.
Right. The one in the back, the SXT.
Yeah. At least do that.
I don't think they can. They did not spend their money on dental floss. They spent it all on license plate frames and a big vinyl sticker.
Fair enough.
The choices people make, Ian, very interesting. Very interesting. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
What else? What else?
Let's see. I saw a car that you don't see very often. I took a picture of that car and I want to share it with you, Ian.
That's what we're doing here.
If I was to show you any Lexus right now, what do you think you'd want to see a picture of? Like, if I just showed you like a Lexus I saw on the street, what do you think?
Maybe like an LC500, like the big coupe.
Okay.
That's what it's called, right? The
new one?
Coupe. Yeah.
Now older. Think maybe like 2010, 12 maybe? Yeah.
I mean,
maybe even
an LFA?
No. Oh, that would be rad. But how about an ISF, man?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Stupid fucking tailpipes.
Yeah, I kind of like them. I think they're cool.
Do you?
Yeah.
They're so weird.
They are so weird, but look who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this. I like what they've done. I like what they've done with the place.
Yeah, they've got big
again,
with the wheels.
I would get rid of the dumb tailpipes. The wheels are awesome, legit awesome.
Right? They've done very well. They dropped it a skosh, put some big boy wheels on it. Yeah.
But that thing's a blast.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Those things are, man, fast Lexuses are cool.
They are,
They just
right?
are. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're just loud and brash and
not great. Like they're not the
Right.
best, right?
Right.
You could do so much better for like a fast sedan, but they're cooler, right?
yeah, they are cool.
I think it's like, yeah.
Well, I don't even know that I can put my finger on it. It just seems like, I don't know, like you found a Led Zeppelin record in your grandfather's collection or something. You know, like it's cool.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, when Lexus goes a little bonkers, it's always great, but it's never good.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. No, I like it. I love these wheels. That looks
Right?
great.
Yeah. So well done, random person with the LS or ISF. Yeah, I mean, Ian, I went autocrossing. Do you want to hear about me taking my little...
very much want to hear about autocross.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So
you took the Fiat 500 autocrossing, and PETA took the M3.
yes, he took his beautiful M3. Yeah. Here you go. Here's my Nugget, and here's PETA. Here's the old bag right there. I don't know who that is behind him. But I told PETA to smile for the camera. PETA has his M3 dialed in. I have said before, and I'll say it again, this is the best handling car I've ever driven in my life.
Yeah.
He's put hundreds and hundreds of hours into it, and it shows.
For anyone not watching on YouTube, it's an E36 M3. He's got some fantastic wheels on there. It's purple.
Yep.
It's the coupe. It's great.
Yeah. He's done so much work, and I'm so proud of him. And it's fantastic. Ian, I'm not going to bury the lead here. I found my car home, like my racing home.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons, but autocross is what your boy wants to do and will continue to do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
I've never been comfortable with wheel to wheel. I don't like shifting a bunch on a track. Right. I'm not coordinated enough to heel toe. Right. The consequences are too high when you go 140 miles an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. But tooling a little Nugget car around a parking lot with a bunch of cones is a fucking blast, and I want to do it for the rest of my life.
So with this, were you like in just like second gear the whole time?
Yeah.
Or
Yep.
okay.
And for anyone who doesn't know, like a lot of times in autocross, the timing doesn't start right at the line. You roll a little bit first, and then you pass through the timing gates, right? And so like you don't have to drop your clutch. You can actually just like take off normally, right? And like you get into second gear, you just leave it there and just thrash your car around.
Nice.
It's fantastic. And the Nugget, Ian, the Nugget, it is so fun, and it turns so fucking hard, Ian. It turns so hard. Ian, it turns so hard.
What I want to know, like, what the struggle was. Like, was it just learning the track? Was it understeer? Was it braking points? Like, what were you working on?
Yeah, so for anybody who doesn't know, I'm super green at autocross. I've done autocross once in a Lotus Elise, which was really fun at like one of those automotive carnival things, and then in Dusty Rusty, which, as you can imagine, was hilarious, right? Yeah, like an almost 300 horsepower front wheel drive car on stock suspension. Great, Dave. Let's do this. Yeah. It was made. So this was with the Rocky Mountain BMW Club, right? Out towards the Front Range Airport. Big bummer is that I can't fly my drone out there. Otherwise, I'd love to get some autocross drone stuff, right?
Right.
For me, it's learning the Fiat because I'm still very new. I've only had the car 5 months, right? I mean, I've had it since August last year, but I've only had it running 5 months. And there's only so much you can do, like pushing the car on public streets. Like you can't, you cannot safely drive the way you do in autocross on public streets. You just can't. Right. And so I've never known like how the balance really is when the car is being pushed. I know how it is when I'm doing like this turn near my house or, that. Right. But like, you don't know, right? All that like muscle, all the nerve ending wirings that you have into the R32, like I have none of those for the Nugget, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so it was a little bit learning about managing the tire pressure as it rose throughout the day, right? I learned a trick that I'm going to do next time, which is chalking the tires to see how much rollover you're getting. Right? Between heats.
Oh, not chalking, but drawing with chalk. Okay.
Yes. Sorry. Scrubbing chalk onto the tires, right? To see how much of the tread you're using or not using, right?
Okay.
And then adjusting your tire pressure accordingly, right? Like my philosophy with the Nugget was I'm going to leave the back at whatever tire pressure it is. On this, it's 32. I'm going to adjust the front. Right. And if I feel like I'm understeering, I'm going to pump up the back a little bit to harden up the back, and then I'll be able to pivot it. And would it surprise you to learn that I hit 46 miles an hour in a slalom in the Nugget?
That's awesome. Did the back come around at all? I
got it to just start to pivot. Yeah, during the last heat. Yeah, so I think here I have a map of the course if you want to see. I made a little map. And this was a test and tune event.
Nice.
So it wasn't like there was no rankings or anything like that. It was, everybody, you just got in line and you could do as many heats as you wanted. And cool. It was fantastic. They ran... they had the day split into quarters. You only had to do corner work one of the quarters. You were driving the other three. It was great. Yeah, so 90-degree start, some back and forth through some cones, a big turn out here. You do get sucked back in at this bottom turn. There was a cone that pushed you back in this way.
Oh, okay.
And then out to this is me walking around the track with my GPS, so it's a little weird. I tried to stay in the middle of like where you'd be driving when you walk the course in the morning for anybody who doesn't know, right?
Right.
And and so then here's the slalom back here. And then a couple turns at the end and across the line. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it was fantastic. Ian, I love it. I'm just gonna the mods that I've done on the Nugget put me in the open class. So somebody can show up with like a fully caged race car with 1 billion horsepower and I'm racing them in the Nugget.
That's funny.
But I don't care. Like I changed the diverter and the intercooler. That's what puts me in open.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm guessing because I've looked into this for my car as well, and it was the same thing. I would have been in like some insane class.
Yes.
Because I changed the all-wheel drive controller.
Yes.
And that, which is hilarious to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really cool. Did you get to drive the M3 at all, or did you ride along with PETA?
I did ride along with PETA, and PETA made amazing progress throughout the day. I can't remember his initial times, but he was down into I think it was 41 second range on the course. Porsche Cayman
GT4, yeah,
was out there running 36 seconds.
Oh wow, okay.
Right? And PETA was 41, right?
Yeah.
The Nugget, I had it down to 43 and a half seconds.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So I was tooling around, and
that's moving around. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I'm gonna do the rest of the BMW events this season. Yeah.
Nice.
There's 7 of them. The first one is this coming weekend.
Yeah. Of course, I'll be gone for that one as well. Yeah.
You will. Yeah. But I would love to for you to be out there with the R and all of that.
Yeah, I definitely want to try it.
Yeah, you have to. I want Nico to ride along because it's hilarious. I want to see like a video of him in the back of your car.
Yeah.
Right.
Would they let him do that?
Yeah, they would. There was a kid riding in the back. They had a helmet and they had a car seat, obviously.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So yeah. But it was a great day. Great day. Nothing on the Nugget broke. No check engine lights, anything like that. So yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. It was a really good time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. I found my automotive home, Ian.
I love it. I love it. I am excited to see this little thing. Does it get a wheel up off the ground?
I don't know. I need somebody to watch me. Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe I wasn't turning hard enough. I know I know it will, but yeah. There was somebody just fucking sending it in a Mini Cooper that spun a few times. They were going so hard.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but they were getting one of their back wheels up on a turn. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Right? Yeah. So anyway, it was great. And I love autocrossing and it's very fun.
Very cool. Dave, have people sent us things?
Oh, Ian, people have sent us things. Do you want to see some of the things that people sent us?
Let's see some of the things that the people have sent to us.
Let's say you wanted to do some remodeling to your house, Ian.
I do want to.
Okay. And what if the contractor showed up in this?
That's awesome. Hired immediately.
See, so our buddy Mark sent us this. It's a Toyota Land Cruiser truck.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know the body code or anything for these Land Cruisers. It's an old ass Land Cruiser and it fucking slaps.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming that these people are not cheap, but
right.
This is like the delicate line of if you have a trade vehicle, you don't want it to be too nice because then you're like, oh, these people overcharge.
Right.
However, this is one of those instances where I think this is okay because obviously this truck is worth stupid money now.
Right.
But they obviously have very good taste because this is done very well.
Right. So you may not be going with the cheapest contractor, but you're going with somebody that's gonna
They're
do
going to
a
do a
good
good job. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love the contrast of the Toyota Echo behind it.
I know. I was just going to say they really screwed up that other car behind them. Yeah.
Yeah. That's their project manager, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, Mark, for sending that. He sent in one really more, kind of off of the SRT4 license plate frame. Mark sent this and he said, "I'm okay with this since it's not a Tesla." And I want to get your take, Ian. It's the Ford Focus electric car.
Oh.
Yep. And it's got a license plate that says, or a license plate frame.
Kiss my amps.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Focus, I'll let you be a little cheeky.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. Danger, flux capacitor.
I think Mark has a point. It would be insufferable on a Tesla.
Yeah.
Permissible on a Focus.
Yeah. Barely. But we're keeping our eye on you.
Right? Yeah. And then here's an old one that Mark sent us a while ago. I forgot. He and his wife were on a big trip and they saw this, Ian, when they were on the Olympic Peninsula. Yeah.
Yes.
It is a super extra Toyota Town Ace JDM van.
Yeah. That's super cool.
Yeah, I don't even know what super extra gets you.
Yeah, it's I went down this rabbit hole when my sister-in-law had her van, and I kind of forgot some of it. But it's
fuck, it looks good.
It's not the camper.
Okay.
Because that's the cruising cabin.
Right.
And then I think the super extra was just a different trim level.
Okay.
I think.
It may have the cool glass roof. It may not.
Yeah. And it may just be a different... This is also newer.
It is newer. Yeah. It looks more really Previa-ish. Cool, yeah.
Yeah. It looks cool, though. I like that like light bar in the front and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, this is just so cool.
Yeah. So thank you, Mark, for sending those.
Very cool.
Right? Let's see. I forgot to mention, I saw Jamie with a TFL car out at the autocross. He bought the TFL company car. Oh. And this is what he brought. Yeah, it's nice. John Cooper Works Mini.
Hell yeah.
With a vanity plate, of course.
Yeah.
It says Zoomies.
Zoomies. Oh, Zoomies. Zoom 13s. I was like, Zoom 13s. Does it run 13 seconds in the quarter mile? I don't know.
Yep. So.
Those John Cooper Works Minis are just so rad. Was he the one who was spinning?
He did spin once, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but there was another, it was a blue Mini Cooper that spun, yeah. Oh, okay. And this Z3 that you see over here, right? Just the corner of it. I wish I had video of this dude running it because it was on very stock, maybe the original suspension, and it had all of the body roll. And this guy was just fucking sending it and living his best life with this Z3, and it made me really happy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, you could spend more money. You could upgrade your suspension. You could change your tires. You can do all kinds of stuff, right? But like, you could also just not do any of that and have a fucking blast for $55.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I know what I'm going to do. Right?
That's great.
Yeah. Let's see. I think there's one more. I think, oh yeah. Our buddy our buddy Pat in Connecticut sent us this, Ian. Ford Flex, which I love, right? With a great sticker.
Weird flex, but okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yep.
Yep. I like that. I like that a lot.
I do like that. That's good.
That'd be one of those things. I'd see it in traffic and I'd be like, okay, you made my day. Yeah.
I love the Ford Flex community of like, they are very passionate. There's a very passionate fan base for this car, which I've always thought was like very funny that there's just such a passionate fan base for this car.
Right.
But people love them.
People fucking love them. Schmidt on New Girl had one in the first few seasons.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. I dig them.
Yeah, that's a good sticker. Good sticker for that car.
Yeah. Thank you, Pat. Speaking of stickers, Ian.
Oh! Did we accidentally segue?
We accidentally segued.
Ooh.
Ian.
Okay.
I have an announcement, everybody. Finally, I've gotten my shit together and learned Adobe Illustrator enough to finally have made us a good sticker. Right? I am pleased to announce Apex Adjacent now has stickers. Have we figured out how you could buy them? Not yet. Here they are. It's our Swear logo and Apex Adjacent. Right?
Yeah. And they look great.
Thank you. You can get them in two sizes. There's a 3-inch, this guy, and then there's the big boy. Oh, I'm reaching real far. There's this guy, right?
Yeah.
You got the 4-inch, right? Yep.
Nice.
So there you go. And you have a right or left swing option on either of them. And in the future, when we get to the point where we can sell them, you're going to be able to buy a 4-pack that has each size and each swing too.
Perfect.
You want to see?
I want to see what they look like on a helmet. Is what I was going to say.
There you go, Ian. Here's my helmet.
Nice.
There's the Apex Adjacent sticker. Stop blurring.
Yes.
There you go.
Great.
I have them on the Nugget. I gotta get a picture of it. But yeah, there we go. So I've reached out to a lot of folks, and I'm going to be sending a whole bunch of people stickers. I would like to say that if I have not contacted you, I apologize, and I'll probably remember to contact you. I've been going through a lot of stuff. But in addition to that, if you'd like an Apex Adjacent sticker, all you need to do is remember our thing, Ian, where we were going to have people do it in public? Send us a video.
Oh, right. What were we going to, what was it?
Of you saying, beep, beep, I'm a big boy.
Beep, beep, I'm a big boy. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Beep, beep, I'm a big boy.
Yep. Send us a video of you saying that in public. I'll send you an Apex Jason sticker.
Oh my god.
Uh-huh. Beep, beep, I'm a big boy.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Beep, beep, I'm a big boy.
Yep.
Oh, man.
So there you go. Yeah,
One of the
Apex
best.
adjacent stickers. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Dave,
Yeah.
I think we done did a car show ish mostly.
We have, Ian.
Other than sending us pictures of or videos of themselves saying "beep beep, I'm a big boy," what should people do?
They should follow us on Twitter, please.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If you see something you like the sticker that Pat sent us, or a maniac with a vanity plate that just says that they're crazy and you don't want to go near them, take the picture from a distance, zoom in, use your camera zoom, and and text it to 720-515-1391.
You may also slide into our DMs if that's more your speed. You can do that as well. Otherwise we accept carrier pigeons, registered posts, smoke signals, all the things. Everybody, we love you. Goodbye.